The primary landforms are produced by the initial forces. So these forces are called the endogenic forces. Among other endogenic forces, the volcanic activity is one of the very important activity in making the primary landforms. So this is also called the things which are actually related with the volcanism. इसको उर्दू में आतिफिशानी अमल भी कहा जाता है। आतिफिशानी अमल से बनने वाले खदोखाल सतह ज़मीन के ऊपर बड़ी अहमियत रखते हैं। The primary landforms are also produced by the volcanic activities and bring fresh rocks to the Earth's surface. So here we have the new landform which are made by the process of volcanism. The volcanism is a typical volcanic system is based around a central plumbing network that transfer magma from its crustal chamber to the surface. So one thing is very important here कि वो तमाम हॉट मोल्टन मटेरियल जो ज़मीन के अंदरूनी हिस्सों में मौजूद है वो सतह ज़मीन के ऊपर से मुराद है कि अर्थ क्रस्ट के ऊपर जो है वो मुख्तलिफ़ किस्म के लैंड फॉर्म बनाता है। The Earth's volcanoes occur because its crust is broken into dozens of major and minor tectonic plates. Those float on a hotter layer mantle. So they are generally found where tectonic plates are diverging or converging. So इसको इस तरह से भी हम एक्सप्लेन कर सकते हैं कि जहाँ पर टेक्टोनिक प्लेट्स कन्वर्ज कर रही हैं या डाइवर्ज कर रही हैं वहाँ पर ये लैंडफॉर्म बनते हैं और ज़मीन के ऊपर क्योंकि हमें मुख्तलिफ़ किस्म के फॉल्ट्स मिलते हैं जो कि इन द फॉर्म ऑफ टेक्टोनिक फॉल्ट्स हैं। सो इस एरियाज़ के ऊपर इन एरियाज़ के ऊपर वॉल्केनिक एक्टिविटी जो है बड़ी प्रोमिनेंट है। सपोज जो पैसिफिक रिंग है वहाँ पर जो है ओशन टू ओशन कन्वर्जेंस है। सो दैट्स व्हाई वी हैव द वॉल्केनिक आर्क। सो दिस इज़ आल्सो कॉल्ड द रिंग ऑफ फायर। इसी तरह से जहाँ पर डाइवर्जेंस है वहाँ पर जो है मिड ओशियनिक रिजेस हैं एंड दोज रिजेस आर आल्सो मेड बाय द प्रोसेस ऑफ वॉल्केनिज्म। Same is the case with the continental convergence. So इस एरिया में ज़्यादातर रिफ्ट वॉल्केनोज हैं, यहाँ पर रिफ्ट वैलीज भी हैं, फॉल्ट्स यहाँ पर मौजूद हैं। Now I have already told that the arc is here. This is actually the Pacific Ring or called the Ring of Fire. So most of the volcanoes are found because of the convergence, the oceanic to oceanic convergence. And this is actually area where you have again the volcanic eruption, and this is why because of the divergence. तो मिड ओशियानिक रिजेस जो हैं यहाँ पर मौजूद हैं और दिस इज एक्चुअली द मिड अटलांटिक रिज। नाउ दिस एरिया इज एक्चुअली द area where we have continent to continent convergence. So this actually area is important for rift volcanoes. Rift Valley यहाँ पर मौजूद है। Now the volcanic chain around the Pacific called the Ring of Fire include volcanic island arches formed by ocean to ocean plate convergence, while oceanic plate divergence forms ridges as that of the mid-Atlantic and isolated volcanic islands. Continental plate divergence generate rift volcanoes as those of eastern Africa. Now volcanism is the process of which magma molten rock from inside the earth rises through the earth's crust onto the surface. Magma chambers within the crust are created by isolated or localized melting and upward migration of partially molten rock or crust and mantle rock. Magma travels from the chamber up to the earth's surface, either through fissures or fractures in the crust or by melting a path through the surrounding rock. Volcanic products include gas, ash, and fragmented rocks. these can pour gently out onto the Earth's surface or be blasted through the atmosphere to be spread globally by high level winds. Now, this is the cross section of the volcanic eruption, or we can say this is a volcano, and it has so many characteristics. Now, magma is coming from the interior to the Earth's surface, and it is actually a hot molten material with the high temperatures. And you will see here certain things which is in the form of layers. So this is actually the idealized cross section, shows a typical or type of volcano called a stratovolcano or layered structure volcanoes, composed of layers of lava, volcanic ash, crater, vent, eruption cloud, and rock materials. The magma chamber feeds the volcano from the interior of the earth crust or lithosphere, or from coming the asthenosphere or the upper part of the upper mantle. So here we have the process which is controlled by the internal structure of the earth, and along with the hot molten material. But when we are dealing with the volcanoes, there are three types of volcanoes here. Number one is the active volcano, number two is the dormant, and number three is the extant. एक्टिव वॉल्केनोज क्या होते हैं? वो जो जहाँ से हर वक्त जो है या किसी भी वक्त जो है वो आतिशियानी अमल हो सकता है, यानी लावा बाहर आ सकता है सतह ज़मीन के बाहर, और नीचे एक मैग्मा चैम्बर मौजूद है, एक्टिव मैग्मा चैम्बर मौजूद है. डॉर्मेंट वॉल्केनोज वो हैं जहाँ पर ये वन ऑफ द एग्जांपल ऑफ द एक्टिव वॉल्केनो. So here we have eruption material in the form of clouds which are formed by dust, ashes, or with hot molten material. Now they are the volcanoes which are currently erupting or have erupted in the last 10,000 years. An example of an active volcano is Mount Helens in USA. There are more than 1,500 volcanoes that could be active today, as estimated 500 million people live near active volcanoes. And Mount Fuji is one of the example of the active volcano, which is in the island of Honshu, the largest island of Japan. This is one of the very important example of the active volcanoes. The Pacific Rim, which is actually the ring of fire, is an arc around Pacific Ocean where there are 400 plus active volcanoes. Now this is one of the example of the dormant volcano, which are the example of the quiet one. They might possible erupt again. It is a sleeping volcano, but it could awaken in future. Mount Rainier in USA, but the most important dormant volcano is Mount Vesuvius, which is a dormant volcano in Italy. And this is the slide of the dormant volcano which is in Italy, and once it was erupted in 79 AD, that lead to the destruction of the Roman city of Pompeii. An estimated 16,000 people died, and it is regarded as one of the most dangerous volcano of the world because the population of 3 million people living nearby, and its tendency toward explosive eruption is very important here. It is the most densely populated volcanic region in the world. Now this is the country of Italy, and the Vesuvius is located here. So this is area where the dormant volcano is located. Now number 3 is the extant volcano, which are those that scientists consider unlikely to erupt again because the volcano no longer has a lava supply, are also called dead volcano. Now here the slide shows the Edinburgh Castle is in Edinburgh, Scotland. It is built on the volcanic castle rock, and it is atop of the extant volcano. Now the volcanic activity construct lofty cones of mountain ranges as well as the domes on the earth's surface. So this is the one of the example of the volcanic activity.